welcome. I'm Benicia Ponder, your story coach and breakthrough strategist from inspirationalauthors.com. And I am so super pumped up to bring you another episode of our Breakthrough Moments author interview series. Today, I have with me Anita Newman, who is such an amazing woman. Yes. We are on the same wavelength. You see, we have on our red today. We are powerful today, and we're going to just have an amazing conversation. This interview is part of our Breakthrough Moments release launch, letting you get to know the authors in the series. And if you've seen any of the other interviews, you know that this is going to be a special treat. For those of you who are not familiar with Breakthrough Moments, I encourage you to head over to inspirationaldevotionals.com. You'll be able to get a link to the book and check out all of the authors in this phenomenal collaboration. Because when we talk about breakthrough moments, we are talking about inspirational stories that are going to spark within you hope, faith. You are going to see God's amazing grace at work throughout the stories of this book. So without any further ado, I want us to get to know Anita Newman a little bit better. Talk to us. Tell us who you are and what you're up to.
Okay, thank you so much, Benicia. First of all, it's a great pleasure to be here with you. I love your energy, and I am so pumped and thrilled about the book that's coming out the end of this month. And I am just thrilled and excited to be a part of this project. And just to touch on my chapter a bit.
Yes.
I have participated in several collaborations before, and normally when I participate in collaborations, I like to take a little humorous route because for the reader, most of the stories in the book is sometimes more heavier and so on. Mm-hmm. And as the saying goes, God has a sense of humor. So yes. I tend to take serious situations that have happened in my past, and I put a humorous spin on it, and then we take the lessons out of that. So that's what I did with my chapter. And I enjoyed writing it, and I hope that the readers will get something from it. The title is Do It Today. Because as human beings, we tend to sometimes procrastinate. I'm big on procrastinating at times. And sometimes we put things off until tomorrow. Yeah. Well, in my chapter, I had a fainting spell, which reminded me that we don't always have tomorrow. So it was just a humorous take on me going into the hospital, spending the day and so on. And it came to turn out that it wasn't anything serious, but during those hours where I was transported to the hospital and had to be in the hospital room with doctors coming in and out, me doing tests and so on, I had to reflect on my goals because some questions came to me. Okay, have you accomplished the things that you want to accomplish in your life? Have you made your mark? If you should leave today, who will remember you? And how will you be remembered? Is it in a positive light? You know, have you impacted people and so on and so forth? So those questions came to me, you know, about my family, my friends, and so on. So that's what I wrote about, because that's a common thing that we may go through, you know, fainting spell or something. I don't know. But that's what I wrote about, and it's pretty humorous. I enjoyed writing it, but I took something serious out of it at the end, like, okay, are you working towards your goal? Are you kicking it until another day? And so on and so forth. So that's what my chapter was about, and I enjoyed writing it.
I enjoy reading it.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you have the humorous spin on it, because there are some heavy chapters in Breakthrough Moments. We have a man who overcame addiction and had to learn how to restore his life. A woman who had a life-threatening illness and had to struggle to fight back to now surviving for more than 10 years after being healed from that illness, and a lot of other stories about decisions that had to be made. So yes, the laughter, the humor, if you will, in your
Yeah.
story is amazing, because it does add that little bit of relief. Sometimes we have extreme emotions, and I truly believe that a lot of times when we take life too seriously,
Yeah.
when we get into that place where we can't laugh and we
Right.
can't find the humor in situations, then breakthrough is not coming, because we're
We're
stuck in
stuck.
that place. So thank you so much for that. Now,
Yeah.
we have something else in common besides just wearing red. We are both distinguished Toastmasters.
Yes,
And
we
I,
are.
I love that, because Toastmasters is so phenomenal, not only at speaking, because a lot of people think of Toastmasters. Oh,
You see my ribbons? I framed them.
but a lot of people see Toastmasters as just a public speaking organization, but within you learning how to speak better, you're learning how to communicate better, you're learning how to organize your thoughts and to be able to effectively present ideas. So that really came through your chapter, being able to take a situation that you could have used to be very serious, very heavy, and
Yeah.
extracting the lessons in a way that leaves the reader feeling inspired, but also motivated to move
Right.
forward. So tell me a little bit more about your journey into being able to do that, being able to take a story and weave it into something that leaves a lesson and has a practical application.
Well, I think as you touched on my experience with Toastmasters, I started Toastmasters, I believe it was about 2010. And I spent
Okay.
about 7 or 8 years. I served as club president, area director, overseeing several clubs in the area. I went on to serve as division director, overseeing
Yeah,
4 counties in South Florida.
nice.
During my time in Toastmasters, I wrote a lot of presentations. A lot. You're a Toastmaster, a
Yes,
lot
yes.
of presentations. So you write a lot and you deliver a lot. And that contributed to my me being able to bring about ideas in that way. And in terms of doing it in a humorous manner, in Toastmasters, we have competitions.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
my favorite is the humorous speech contest.
Mhm.
And I've won at the club level and advanced to the area level as well. So I think that helped a lot in being able to write a speech, communicate ideas, and write something serious in a humorous manner, because we have to be able to do that. And just to touch on, I believe a lot in storytelling and in Toastmasters. When we write the speech, it's not only about writing the speech. In Toastmasters, they encourage us a lot to express your ideas through
Mhm.
stories. Yeah.
Yes.
So that came
Yeah.
in very helpful.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. And I also like the fact that you've been a part of many collaborations.
Yes.
You've been able to share multiple stories. One of the things I get a lot is I don't know if I can, I only have one story, or no, that's not the case. It's never the case that you only have one story. Every day is a new story, right? But
Right.
a lot of people really feel that they have to tell like the story of their whole life. How do you come to being able to extract the stories of your everyday life, if you will, so that you can see the story and the lesson in even everyday moments?
That's a very good question, Benicia. Whenever I have to participate in a collaboration, I think about it, not a lot. I just put it in the back of my mind for a bit and let my mind stay there. As I go out, I'm doing dishes, I go for a walk or someone, it's there in the back of my mind. And I find that after a while, a couple of days, the perfect story comes. So don't stress about it. Just throw it in the back of your mind. That's one way I go about it. And also, don't think of a big story. Yeah. You're not writing your life story. You're not doing your memoir. It's just something, just extract something from your life that is relevant to that collaboration. And that's the one you play with. So you think of a story that brings out a lesson that is relevant to the book that we're in. And you just put it in your mind, and surprisingly, or not surprisingly by this, it does come. But I encourage people who participate in collaborations or would like to, don't think of it like you have to come up with a big story or your life story. Just extract something, just a small thing. I know you have participated in another book project with me. Yeah, and for that one, I went back to my childhood, just a minor incident from my childhood where we're coming home from school and we teased someone and we ran and I fell and so on. And the same person who I was teasing came to help me up. So it's just find a minor story that has a lesson from your life, not your entire life. And that's how I approach it.
Yes. And that's why I really do love collaboration projects, because you get to take a bite-sized portion of your life and then and make it into something that can teach, that can inspire. I think of Jesus and the parables. He didn't, it was concrete concepts that came out of everyday stories. And one of the things I also love is that your story does not have to be catastrophic before someone learns from it. You can have a story that is ordinary, is everyday, is a story that might not seem that might not seem extraordinary, but there's so much that can be gleaned even from regular everyday situations that can have really big consequences, really big impact in other people's lives. So how was your experience working with this collaboration? I don't want you, don't compare. No, you don't have to compare us to anybody else. But what was your experience like with this inspirational devotionals collaboration?
Oh my goodness, I loved it. It was a pleasant experience, very organized, and I felt like I was kept up to date and in the loop. I knew exactly what the next step is and what's going to happen next and so on. And it was in a timely manner. I didn't feel rushed. And the only regret I have is that I didn't have a chance to participate in the writing parties. I didn't have a chance because of my time schedule and so on. But, I really enjoyed it. And I really like these opportunities where we're able to bring up some of these stories. You don't even remember it, but it's there in the back of your mind. And when this opportunity comes up, it's like the story just pops forward, you know what I mean? And then you draft it and you work on it and until it's ready to go in the book. So that's how it is. And I thank you. I thank you for giving us this opportunity. I do appreciate that.
Yes, well, it is definitely my pleasure. I I absolutely love it. I'm finding myself, I'm going to let the audience in on my inner thoughts because we're both Toastmasters. I'm sitting here like, oh, who's counting our ums and ahs?
Yeah, yeah, I know. And I had a couple. I had a
Me
couple,
too.
but
It's like it's automatic, and you don't think about it. But when you say Toastmaster, you're like, I gotta control that. But that's
yeah,
just a side note.
yeah, yeah, I know. It's just a part of us wherever we go. And I really got my start in Toastmasters, and it opened up doors for me
Yes.
because of my involvement, I was able to step through other doors and so on. So I
Yeah.
do appreciate the time I spent at Toastmasters, and I also met a lot of wonderful people who became lifelong friends
Mhm.
from Toastmasters.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. And I love it that it's international. So there are chapters and groups, clubs all over the world. Every
yeah,
city, every country almost has a Toastmasters club. Many, many, many Toastmasters clubs. So it's a really good
right.
opportunity. But I just really appreciate your commitment and your dedication to the project. I appreciate the fact that you stepped up to share your story. And I've been asking the authors this question
Yeah,
about their advice to someone who might be thinking about joining in the collaboration project and they're on the fence. They're not sure if they have the right story to tell. They're not sure if they can write the story. They're just hesitant. What would you say to them to help them overcome and get to the other side of their doubt and their hesitation?
as the title of my chapter goes, do it today. Just do it. You can't go wrong. It's like you will receive guidance for
Yeah.
one. And it's always good to put yourself out there, try something new. If you've always wanted to do it, I say do it. Just do it. Simple, do it.
Just do it. Just
Yeah,
do it. I love it.
just do
Just
it.
do
Yeah.
it. Well, thank you, Anita, so much for joining us today. Our listeners, our viewers have gotten a glimpse into who you are, and your chapter, as we've talked about before, is so simply amazing. I
Thank
encourage
you.
everyone who is watching, everyone who is listening to go over to inspirationaldevotionals.com. There you are going to find a link to purchase the book. And I encourage you to purchase a copy for yourself and about 5 or 6 copies for your friends and family.
That's right.
Get it, spread the inspiration. You'll also be able to see all of our authors in the collaboration and find out how you can connect with them more. Anita, do you have anything else before we wrap up today?
Um, I just want to thank you again for involving me in this project, and I really enjoyed it. And continue doing your thing, and let's continue inspiring the world.
Yay!
That's it.
I love it, love it, love it. Well, I am Benicia Ponder, your story coach and book writing strategist from Inspirational Authors. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Breakthrough Moments author interview series. We have more to come. I again encourage you to go over to inspirationaldevotionals.com to check out the book, check out our authors, and be engaged. If you are thinking about joining our next collaboration project, there's a place there at inspirationaldevotionals.com where you can apply to join us. Thank you so much for being a part of our community. Until the next time we meet, remember this: you are the light of the world, and it's time for you to let your light shine.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.